Hello everybody, welcome back to my garage. Yes, what's this, episode 3? Yeah, it's 3 of the Winter Works 2022-23. I apologize in advance, right? I'm just going to be honest. This is not an entertaining video. It's very boring. It's basically just me removing, I don't have my voice there, removing things from the car. And I'm about halfway through now, stripping all the bits that I want off the car so that I can do the winter works that I want to do, which we'll go and talk about in a minute over there. I can't make it interesting. I'm sorry. I know some people can. I don't have the presenting skills to make removing an alternator belt entertaining. It's just a lot of me under the car, on top of the car, going like this and going, here, this is it, and now it's off. So I see I've got some new subscribers as well. It's about 10, 15 people joined since my last video was posted. So hi to you guys. Thanks for joining and subscribing, but not a great first video for you to be watching. I apologize in advance, like I said. But if you want to stick about and watch me remove a load of crap from under the bonnet, then great. If not, I won't mind if you go watch something that's actually fun to watch. So let's go over to the car. Actually, just before we go there, just ignore the sort of Halloween type arrangement on the garage door. I'm just doing a bit of an experiment because over here, I finally have my diesel heater rigged up so I can make it nice and toasty in here, albeit it's a bit noisy. Might turn it on afterwards and I'll show you how noisy it is. It's quite obtrusive, but it does make the place lovely and warm for me working in here when it's kind of winter outside. It's kind of gone back to being winter here again. It's about 3 degrees, maybe minus something tonight. So do need some heat, and I'm just trying to see if it's worth me spending a bit of time and effort insulating the garage door, because that lets a lot of cold air in. Anyway, that's that. Car-wise, obviously I've removed the radiators in the last video. I've removed the cross braces in this video. The fan is gone. Air conditioning pump, water bypass rail thing. Front hoses, is that it? All the tensioners and belts, obviously. Yeah. Oh, and the airboxes. I think that's it. So, yeah, that's about half of what I need to remove to do all the works that I want to do under the bonnet this winter, because I've decided the paintwork probably looks all right on video, but it's kind of a mismatch of various rust removal and repairs over the years, and it's not as good as it looks on video. So while I'm on, this is what always happens while I'm on, because I'm going to be removing quite a lot of stuff from down the side anyway to do these cam covers and all that kind of stuff. I just thought I may as well give the engine bay as best I can without removing the engine. May remove the brake servo, whatever that's called over there, but I might not. I might try and do it with it in situ. We'll see how committed I get, but I'd like to give the engine bay a refresh, respray. Yeah, that aside, I definitely want to get down to these cam covers. So next episode, the fuel rail's coming off, the inlet manifolds coming off, all the injectors, all the spark plugs, and then I can do those cam covers, do the rear gaskets, new gaskets on the cam covers, obviously, while we're on. And also it finally gives me a chance to clean out and refresh back to new this V. I'm not even going to touch that because it's dirty. So yeah, what are we now? We're about, time-wise, we're about into March. So I'm kind of hoping I'll be a bit quicker this month, get all that stripped down, maybe by the end of March, and then can start actually doing some proper works going forward into April. Get it rebuilt about May time, June, maybe get the car out again. I don't know. The reality is maybe I won't get to drive the car this year because I've committed to so much works. And I do like making myself extra work as I go along. For example, the rear brakes are off again at the minute. No reason really. They were fine, but the front discs are nice, shiny, EBC vented, slotted jobbies, and I always wanted ones that matched at the rear. So just while I'm messing about in the garage, I've taken off these perfectly good brand new standard discs. I'll sell these if anyone wants them, by the way. They've literally done 20 miles. And this month I'll be ordering some EBC brake discs to match the front. Completely pointless and just wasting more time, but this is what happens when I'm in the garage. I see stuff and go, oh yeah, I want to do that, and I get distracted. I've also got a new stereo to put in, even though I only put a new stereo in, what, 6 months ago? So yeah, but I saw another one, and it does clever sciencey things with my phone. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. Like I said, this video is really boring. I'll be honest, it's kind of a documentation for me, as well as I'm sharing it with you guys, because maybe there'll be some useful stuff in there. I don't know. Honestly, it could just be a really boring list of things being removed from the car. For me, it's a great record. I can just take photos as I go along, taking stuff off, but filming it and then putting it here, well, it's a record for me. When I come to put stuff back on, I'll remember which bolt goes where. That's kind of the other side of this. It's not just for YouTube. It is a personal record for myself as well. So if you enjoy watching it, great. But you probably won't. Enjoy. Ah, yes, I remember now. Big hole where the radiator used to be. And the next job is to remove the oil cooler. Just a quick note, my oil cooler, excuse me, still coughing up this cold. Right. Yes, my oil cooler is aftermarket. It's very similar to the later facelift V12 oil coolers, which are a shorter design, which utilise on this cross member here, this hole here, inlet or outlet, I can't remember which way around they are, and a hole down there. The earlier facelift V12s, like this one, so 93, 94, had a full length, maybe the 5.3 previous, I don't know anything about the pre-facelift cars, had a full length oil cooler. That used a hole down there for an inlet and an outlet, and this one, again, like I said, I don't know which way round in and out is particularly. I just know that it's left and right. Down here, so your oil cooler lines come from over there. We'll go under the engine in a minute and have a look. Mine are standard until the point where they were cut, and I fitted these couplings so that I could make some custom hoses that fit my aftermarket cooler. That's the only difference. So the job's the same, it's just my cooler is a shorter one. Mainly because I couldn't source the full length one, and the shorter type design one, which I could source genuine from Jaguar, was something like 650 quid or something. And an aftermarket one is, I don't know, 100 quid, 150 pounds, and it's perfectly good. Under here, yes, so those are your oil cooler lines, as they will be on your car as well. There's no change there. And I'm going to disconnect them here. It's a 2-spanner job. Am I leaking there? Is that a little bit of a leak? Maybe. I need to look into that. There's always oil somewhere, isn't there? So I'll just stick a pan down here, crack them off, and just let the oil cooler drain, and then we'll get it removed. Let's just get these cracked off first before I worry about sticking a pan down. Oh, it wasn't too bad, actually. Okay, well, I know that one's loose. Let's see what this one's going to be like. Not going to lie, this one here gave me some serious grief. I've got it moving now. Oops, just get in there. Oh, I can do it by hand now. Whew. Got my tray ready now, by the way, in case you're thinking I've forgotten that. There we go. Right. I should be able to pop that out. Oh, nearly missed the tray there. And pop that other one out. Stop moving about. Come on now. Don't be shy. There we go. I think before we do anything else, I'm going to get some high quality automotive. No, it's just a freezer bag. And I'm just gonna try and hook that over there. And I think cable tie actually. And just stop any more dribbling while I uninstall the oil cooler. Let's get one on that one as well. Yeah. Something like that. That should stay, right? Let's go get some cable ties. Let's just have that. There we go now. Now we're being sensible. Let's right. Hook that one out here as well now. You just dangle there. Now we're not going to be dribbling any more oil, hopefully, unless I picked bags with a hole in. That would be shit. But hopefully not. So I can move this oil out of the way. And let's go upstairs and undo the fixings. Like I said, mine's not standard, so yours should have. I might have an old. I'm going to look in my box of bits. I might have an old oil cooler mount, so I can show you what it should look like. I was just starting to think that I'd actually thrown something away. I'm pretty good at keeping like old Jaguar bits. And that's the old Growler badge, which I might put back on one day. Some spare, what are they? They're spare bolts for something. But anyway, in this random bag, I saw it. Oops. See, there's the old power steering line holder thing. But yes, your oil cooler will be, it'll have a rubber mount in there, and basically that'll be that way up, obviously, and it'll be bolted in, and the oil cooler just kind of pushes in between two bits of rubber here. But mine's not like that. So yeah, Allen key on the top. Why am I pointing at the horn? Allen key on the top, and I don't know, what do you reckon? 13mm spanner on the bottom? I'm going to go with that. I've lost my 18mm spanner, which is very distressing. I'm very organised about my tools, so that annoys me. I don't know where it's gone. It's probably ended up in a random drawer somewhere. Anyway. It wasn't a 13mm, it was a 10. It wasn't even close. I wonder if I could go through there. That's better. I think that one's fingerable now. Yes. Quite a combination of rubber and washers. Just make a little pile here. Right, on to the next one. I don't need to film all this. This is really boring. I'm going to press stop. Right, removed all of those and then slightly annoyed myself. I kind of had this idea of undoing those and then just lifting it out with my freezer bag arrangement. Saved me having to faff about with these, but of course, there's no way that curved thing that I've put on there, if it was straight, then it would lift out, but I'm not going to get that out. So I am going to have to go get 2 spanners. I thought I was done with the tray of oil, but clearly not. Disconnect these horns. Obviously these aren't standard either. They're supposed to be on a sort of that shaped bracket somewhere under here, I think, but mine had just ended up completely rusty. So I replaced them with these, which I just fixed onto the cross member here. $14. Yes. I'm just going to take a photo of that, because just to remind myself when I reinstall that there's a spacer in there. Believe me, You can never take too many photos. Oh, there goes my spacer. Spacer each side this time, which I am going to drop. But I know there's two of them, so as long as I pick two up on the floor. Right, there's one. There's the other. Right, fan removal. Jeez, look at my shoes. Hello, toes. And scruffy shoes. I have nicer shoes, I promise. Right, I've loosened off 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, and then we've got this last one. So I've got this nice, clean, precision screwdriver. No, it's not at all. Covered in paint. I'll wedge that in there. Obviously the threads are... Hey, don't go out of focus. Obviously the threads are protected because the nuts are still on. Jesus. May have underestimated strength of screwdriver required. Something went there. Well, I definitely bent my screwdriver. Question is, did I also loosen the nut? I think I did. I think, despite ruining my screwdriver, will you focus now? Yeah, despite ruining my screwdriver, but that's fine. I have loosened this last knot, so let's just wind this one out a little. So obviously you can see I've been loosening them off, and then that allows this to move forward, which means that they don't foul on this this bit here, whatever that's called. Let's go back and do another one now. I'm going to keep this tool. Perfect bend now for just locking in this fan. Now, one thing people do say on the internet, and I can see why, is because most people aren't doing this with everything else off, is to put something underneath at this point before this nut falls off, because, I mean, it doesn't matter, mine's going to fall probably on the floor, although I might be able to get that with my finger. No. Okay, so as you can see, that's now buggered off on the floor. Now I'm not bothered because I know I'll be able to find that. But yeah, if you were doing this with the fan shroud on and lots of other stuff, maybe even you can do this with the radiator on. I don't know. I wouldn't want to do it with the radiator on, but I'm sure it's possible. But the chances are that nut's going to fall down. Hey, stop rotating. Yeah, it's going to fall down in between focus. In between the radiator and the shroud, never to be seen again. Now, I thought this one was doing something weird, so this one's removing the stud from the pulley for some reason, which it's not supposed to be doing, so I'll have to screw that back in at a later date. I'm going to take the air boxes off next because I want to get these hoses out of my way, and they're kind of tucked under there, and then that'll start to clear up a bit more space. I'm just kind of going to keep removing things until I get bored today. Then on a 13mm deep socket, and there's 4 nut bolts, around the inlet. So just find them and undo them. So yes, 4 of them, the little anti-rattle washer on them. And then finally, just one fixing nut. Where's my extension gone? There. Just down in front of the extra air valve. And that's that out of the way. Like I said, starts to clear me up quite a lot of space to get this hose off. I can start seeing down here and here. We'll do the same on the other side. So on this side, the fixing bolt is just hidden under this pipe. So all you've got to do is just get that out of the way. Just pop it off. Now you'll see it hidden underneath. I remember now, it's all coming back to me. Yeah, so that pipe was in the way for that, but I had to come off anyway, because that's your, what's it called? Engine breather, compression needs somewhere to go type thing. If you overfill your oil as well, that's where it all comes out into your air filter, by the way. And also you've got a breather here, which is probably very stubborn. It's supposed to have a Jubilee clip on, but it doesn't need it. As you're about to see, as I remember this, every time is a fight to get off. Yeah, gonna need some lube on that. Right, now I'm going to take off these top hoses left and right. I don't know if you can hear music in the background. Maybe, maybe not. It's just an Amazon delivery driver. He's having a little disco in his van as he delivers. Why not? Oh, he's gone now. Oh, has he? No, there he goes. It's properly loud. Oh, break that seal. There we go. Oh, of course, there's going to be a load of coolant left in there, isn't there, you silly boy? I'll go get a tray. Wasn't too bad. Mainly because I'd already spilt it all over the floor, but yeah. Right, just accidentally disconnected my cruise control. Plug that back in a minute. So. I've just removed the airline. Oops, just bring it back so you can see. Sort of like that. Goes down to your charcoal canister, or comes back out of the charcoal canister. Can't remember which is which. Anyway, just get that out of the way. Now I might be able to get a grip on here and break this seal. There we go. So yeah, if you jump under the car, you'll see your power steering pump, and on the back I've just got the spanner on already on the back of the pivot bolt, which is sealed at the front, so, or captive or whatever it's called. So with that pivot bolt loosened off, whoops, I just need to loosen off the tensioner, get that nicely out of the way. That's way more than I need, and that's fine. And then we can tighten that, turn that the correct way. Unlike what I just did. Back that off. Come on, spanner. Work with me here. Benefits of having nice clean threads there. Right, so hopefully that should pivot. Yeah, obviously if you haven't loosened that pivot bolt and you're wondering why it won't move, that's why. Right, the block didn't want to move because it likes to be able to pivot as well, otherwise it just jams on the thread. So I am also loosening off, whoops, the actual tensioner block, and then hopefully, as usual with me, a little trial and error, that will just slide all the way up. Let's see what happens now. Are you going to behave now? Ah, look at that. There we go. That's what it needed. Let's just give myself maximum loosenage. Oh, you're going to fight me all the way, aren't you? Just get off there now. Right. Which way is loose? That way. Jesus. Are you sure? Oh, come on. Get off, you rude word that I can't say on YouTube. Oh, that's all loose. I've just got that all loose, but the pivot bolt for this is on this idler. Or I think in the American versions you've got some air pumpy nonsense here. So I just need to loosen off that nut down there. That's it. And then this tensioner should pivot. Pivot. Oops. Don't bash off all my nice stuff. I just need a little bit more. Oh, can do that by hand. A little bit more fingering, a little bit more violence, and there's our belt off. And last but not least, in the belt department, is the alternator belt. So same principle. Whoops. Hold that. Loosen pivot, loosen lock nut, back it off, and then hopefully the whole thing will pivot and we can get the belt off. Okay. Ooh. Alright, one alternator belt, add to the collection. Stay there. Right, it's time to remove the coolant bypass rail thing. It's held on in a lot of places. It's also got the, so in that wing's your charcoal canister, which sends unburnt fuel fumes, or just fuel fumes. That's it. It connects up to the fuel tank, and then any excess fuel fumes get burnt off in the engine. It's supposed to be better for the environment and everything. Yes, so that's connected here and here. So I've already disconnected those. Can't remember if I videoed that, but I'm just letting you know you need to make sure you disconnect those, because this little pipe in front connected to the bypass rail is with the bypass rail, so it needs to come with it. Also, my overflow is obviously connected because I've got nothing on the front of the car. So then it's just connected to each water rail. So one on this side, one on that side, which you've just seen me undoing, and it's connected onto the water pump there. I think that's it. Then it's just a case of fighting it to get out, because it's connected in 3 places. It's a bastard to get in and out. I remember doing this last time because it just wants to hold on to everything. But we'll try and break the seals on these rubbers and then see how we get on. Yes, I just had a little thought. I'm going to remove this crankcase breather nodule that sits out above the bypass water rail. It really is due a bit of refurb, isn't it? It's quite rusty, that bit there. Yeah, because I remember trying to fight this in and out last time, and obviously you need movement on this bit to lift it up off the water pump, and this just gets in the way, and I just fought with it last time. But I'm going to do the right thing this time and just undo these 2 bolts, and hopefully that'll lift out of the way and give us just make life a little bit easier. Honestly, the mix of metric and imperial on these later cars is just a absolute minefield. I just assumed, because this, well, that's loose, because this is wow, not tight at all. Sorry, I'll finish my original sentence now. Yeah, because this is part of the sort of original design, I assume. I just assumed it would have a imperial bolt size on it, but no, it's 10mm. It's just like I said, it's a constant game trying to work out whether it'll be okay, you go on the floor. Imperial or metric. Is that going to wobble off? Or is there more magic holding it on. Nope, it's just going to pop off. I've got a gasket. Yeah, it's only a crankcase compression, so that'll be fine. Right, that gives me room to lift upwards at least. I'll find that nut bolt type thing in a minute. Right, I don't think I can make my life any easier really, apart from, like I said, you could remove the air conditioning pump prior to doing this, but I can't be arsed because it's quite late. Ignore that. Literally, as soon as I'd pressed stop recording, I just thought, do you know what, why not? It's coming off anyway. I've already disconnected the belt. Is that what that... Do you know, I can hear a little ringing noise when my engine's turning. I think it might be that. Yeah. I'll undo these 4 bolts and just see what happens, see if there's any movement at all. Because I think then all I've got to do is undo that, which will only be finger tight anyway, because I've not had any gas in my air conditioning since I've owned the car. So these have always just been finger tight. This one's already disconnected anyway. So who knows? Maybe if I just undo those 4 bolts, this will lift out. Probably not, but you know. They're 10mm anyway, and I've got the 10mm here, so may as well. That's tight. Don't like that. Let's try this one. They are tight. Right, you, they've never been undone. Let's go back to that one now. I know how it's going to feel. That's it. Please don't snap. Did you just snap, or have you just gone loose? Oh, I thought I'd snap that then. Not going to lie, that went from being very sticky to nothing very quickly, which was a little bit alarming. You know that feeling. How am I supposed to get on that one? Oh, it's not too bad. I'm winding myself into a hole there. I'm getting there. Let's get a longer extension. A little bit overkill, but it's just what happens to be on the bench. That's it. I have no idea if undoing these 4 belts is going to do anything. That's the fun of... That's still tight. That's the fun of working on a car when you don't know what you're doing. It's a discovery process. Are you going to come out now? How long are these bolts? Very long. Okay. Didn't expect that. That one's already loose. That's the one that I thought I snapped. They're quite thick, actually. It's loose now then. Okay, so let's just go and get 2 spanners and nip that off, because although I said it would be finger tight, it's slightly too tight for my fingers. I've gone for the precision tools because I can't be bothered to go and find out which 2 spanners it is. Really dislike adjustables, but sometimes they're just easier. There we go. O-ring's still there. That's good. Right, what happens now? Gonna have to undo that pipe. Is attached to the actual car there. What's that, an 8mm? Yeah, it is 8mm. Wasn't too tight either. Captive nut at the back, so that's alright. Pop that there. Right. So in theory, this whole thing's going to lift off. It's probably connected somewhere, isn't it? Is that it? I'm not going to know until I've lifted it out a little bit. Yeah, let's get the light down the back of here and see what we've got. a connection there. Okay, so I do need to disconnect that connector. I figured out that seems to hook up to this side thing at the back. It was just a single connector with 2 pins, which now I realised I don't know which way up it goes, but I'll worry about that later. So I'm just going to disconnect that and then I think lift out this whole air conditioning pump. Right, how does this one work? Why can't all clips just be the same? Is that a push type affair or a pull? Let's just give it a bit of persuasion. Oh God, I hate these connectors so much. I can't get my other finger in there. How many hours am I going to spend on this one connector? Maybe I can get the screwdriver under there and not snap the plastic. Aha! Finally. Movement. There we go. Ah, right. Now it should be free. Yes, good. Well, don't know why I didn't do that last time. That's going to make taking this... Alright, it's still not going to be easy, but I have a lot less stuff in my way now. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We're going to have to get more lube and stuff up in there, aren't we? Where's my lube gone? There's that little screwdriver as well. I know I could just film the actual pulling off bit, but I think it's important. Anyone who's maybe watching this thinking of buying a classic car, any classic car, it's not just Jags. This is what goes on. You know, you see these nice instructional videos of how to dismantle your car, and it's just not like that. There's hours of fighting, breaking seals like that. And then it's suddenly going and you're smacking your cold hand off things. Right, now we've got that off, we should be able to just get violent with... What was that? That was a Jubilee clip going. That's fine. I just need this last seal to break. Come on now. It's gonna go any sec. And I'm gonna punch myself in the stomach. Come on, you're not even attached. There we go. Oh, that's it, just dribble coolant all over my floor. Yeah, got a bit of oil on the screen there. Right, slightly annoyingly, while I was filming taking these out, and they're all different lengths, and I was making a point for my reinstallation reference of where the different length bolts went, I didn't press record or something happened. But anyway, sort of in order. That long one came out of there, then there was a slightly shorter one, and then they were all kind of short until we got round here where there was one more long one. So hopefully I'll be able to figure that out when I put it back together. Sorry about that. I was kind of hoping to help you and help me keep... Oh, it makes a zinging noise as well. Yeah, help me and help you keep track of where they go back. But I'm assuming they can't really go back in the wrong place. Anyway, I'm now going to go and get my Allen key set. Get that one off. And I think that's it for Allen keys. Then I've got that screwdriver head to do, and then get this tensioner off. And then hopefully break the seal on this gasket, and this water pump is going to come off. Although before I do that, I do need to put a box down again to catch coolant. Let's see which one of these. Whoops. Maybe that one there. Looks quite chunky. Well, I don't know what size that Allen key bolt is, but the only Allen key I could find to fit it was an actual Allen key, which is never ideal, especially as I'm going to have to do it by hand now. But it is at least undoing. But yeah, it seemed to be an imperial, random imperial size. I don't know. It looks original though, so maybe it is some random old imperial Allen key size off the shelf. It wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, there it is. Nip this off here. I'll just get the nut off the back of here and the washer, and I'll drop the washer somewhere. Get that in a minute. Oh yeah, how am I supposed to get that out of there? Oh, sorry, that can just... No, that can't wiggle that way, and that can't wiggle that way. Well, what the... Now, where the hell did that washer go? It's not sat there. Where have you got... Ah, there you are. Can I get my finger in there? Ow! Just. I have to get the magnet in there, I can't get that out. Right, ran out of patience. I don't know how you're supposed to get that off without taking the front wheel off the power steering pump or something, because basically it was just pivoting there, which means I wasn't going to get this stud off. I'd actually already loosened the pivot bolt earlier in this video to take the belt off the power steering pump, so all I need to do is reach around, undo the nut and washer, push out this, it goes that way around, it's got a captive bolt fitting at the front, and then I've just left the power steering pump dangling about down there, which means I can finally take out this stud. Well, that's longer than I was expecting, but yes, so that should be... God, it's all very... Is that rust? Or is that just... What is that? It's a bit concerning, really. Don't like that. Anyway, I'm going to pull this idler pulley mounting off. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. Is that a washer? Yes. Tiny little grip washer in a recess. That can stay there. Right, they're not bolts actually, these are nuts. That one's an bolt. Let's see what this one is. That's another bolt. Okay, that one's a nut as well. 2 bolts and 2 nuts. Right, so that's uncovered another bolt. Let's just take that out, and then I'm going to have to see whether I've got to take these 2 studs out or whether the whole thing can pull forward over them. There. Well, I might be wrong. It might just wiggle out. And now what's stopping you? Now what do you want from me? Maybe I do need to take those studs out. Don't seem to have enough movement to get the impeller out with those there. I think I need to be able to rotate that. Nope, I tell a lie, I was just being soft. Just needed to wiggle it a bit better. There we go. One water pump. think that'll do for me for tonight, but actually one last thing I'm going to do is just nip this air conditioning pump mount off. Okay, well, that'll do for this video. Like I said at the start, I apologise that really wasn't very entertaining, was it? I did warn you. If you made it this far, then well done. But as I said, it's a useful documentation for me when I come to put this all back together. And it may help some people along the way. You might just wonder what's entailed in removing the water pump from a Jaguar XJS V12. Well, you've just seen it's not that difficult, to be honest. It's just a lot of stuff to remove to get to it. I certainly wouldn't have known that. Well, I didn't know before I started this. I actually thought the water pump was going to be an absolute pig to remove. I had a feeling the bolts would be seized and all sorts, but because they're going into an aluminium block, I guess they're not torqued that tight. So it was quite a pleasant surprise how easy it was to take that off, albeit time consuming. So yeah, thanks for watching this far. If you have, if you haven't, I totally understand. And I shall get on with the next video as soon as possible, and I'll try and make that more entertaining maybe. Probably not, because it's just going to be more of the same, removing stuff. It's only really going to get entertaining once we start putting nice shiny new things on. I like that part. Anyway, till then, see you later. Bye. Oh, I forgot. May as well see how loud the heater is. You'll see what I mean. It does make the place toasty, but it is quite annoying. I have Bluetooth headphones in so I can watch telly while it's on. And go! Oh yeah, it's kind of livable with, but yeah, not for hours on end.